In the world of streaming, there are always trends, but every now and then a genre just explodes onto the global stage. And this one is coming from a place that might just surprise you. Today, we're talking about the incredible global rise of Thai boys' love. I'm going to start with a pretty bold claim here. When it comes to the boys' love genre, Thailand has become the undisputed global powerhouse. Seriously, they're producing more of these shows with a wider reach than pretty much any other country out there. So let's get on the same page. What exactly is boys' love, or BL as it's often called? Well, it's a media genre that actually got its start in Japan, and it focuses on romantic stories between male characters. But what's really interesting is that it was traditionally created by and for a mostly female audience. Okay, so how did Thai BL go from this niche category to a full-blown global phenomenon? Turns out there's a very specific formula behind its success. It was really like the perfect storm. First, you have Thailand's entertainment industry, which is just booming and able to produce a massive number of these shows. Second, and this is a huge deal, they have fewer censorship restrictions than many of their neighbors. And all of that together created the perfect environment for an incredibly powerful global fan culture to form around this LGBTQ plus content. And a huge part of that fan culture is something called shipping. This is where fans don't just love the on-screen couple. They follow the actors as if they were a real-life item. It's a strategy that totally blurs the line between fiction and reality, and it keeps fan engagement sky high long after a show's finale. But, it's not just about the industry stuff. What is it about the stories themselves? Let's take a look at the romantic blueprint that makes these shows so compelling to so many people. A lot of these shows use a very familiar and honestly comforting set of story tropes. You've got your enemies to lovers, your fake dating scenarios, almost always set in a university. They also often use the semi or uke dynamic. That's a Japanese term for the top or dominant partner and the bottom or more receptive partner, which really helps define the characters' roles for the audience right away. These stories definitely provide a kind of idealized escape for a lot of fans, but it's worth asking. Are these romances always ideal? And here's where things get a little complicated. There's a real tension, right? On one hand, fans absolutely celebrate the genre for focusing on deep emotional connections and usually happy endings. But on the other hand, critics do point out that some series have been accused of romanticizing non-consensual acts or falling back on some pretty rigid stereotypes. So, when you look at the whole picture, the massive global success of Thai BL leaves us with a really fascinating question about the future of entertainment. What does its incredible rise reveal about the kinds of love stories that audiences all over the world are truly craving?